The wind rises.
Traveler, Paimon, please let me be your part. I'd like your assistance with this.
That's fine with Paimon. What do you think, Traveler?
I have a few theories. There are some places I'd like to investigate first. So you two...
Sure. Where would you like to...
I want to go back to where we first met up. According to your accounts, you encountered the I believe there may still be some clues.
Do we really have to go...
Are you worried that she'll be waiting for us? If anything, my worry is that we won't be able to find her. Honestly, it'd save me a lot of trouble if she were...
Wow, Hazel!
The more cases you see, the less afraid... This should be approximately where you first encountered the ghost. Of course, we cannot conclude whether the woman is actually a ghost or not at this point, but I'd like to go over everything that happened again. Do you recall any...
Let Paimon think. She warned us not to go near her, and she said if we didn't leave her... Ooh, Paimon doesn't want to remember that moment.
And then what happened?
Then... everything seemed to get darker, and Paimon started to feel dim. Paimon saw some sort of black mist surrounding the ghost, and then...
Based on your account, it does
Exactly! So are you convinced?
It's possible, but I'm more interested in what she's actually trying to achieve than even if she is a ghost. As long as she possesses some sense of reason, then
Wasn't she after our souls? She said...
I think she was just trying to scare you.
Oh...
Think about it. If I had the ability to take your souls, then why go to the trouble of warning you over? Besides, a ghost wouldn't have allowed you to walk away knowing about the secret of its...
That does make sense. Huh.
I believe there are only two possibilities. The first is that she wanted to reap your souls, but there was some condition that had to be met. But if you had really been cursed, then you would probably have noticed it by now. So, this is the less likely scenario. I believe she was just trying to...
But why would she want to scare us away? Maybe she was trying to get us to quit so she could claim the Test of Courage prizes. Oh! Probably not. So why does she want to scare us? Do you have any ideas, Hazel?
Based solely on your account, I don't believe she actually meant any harm. She just didn't want you... But this evidence alone is insufficient to make any valid assumptions. She could very well be guarding some treasure or covering up a... Though... my intuition is telling me that neither of these hypotheses are correct. Let's continue investigating the surrounding area.
Quit following me.
Have you found any leads yet?
Yeah, some tree branches seem like they were bent by something, but that's about it.
I see. After you left, I took a good look around the area. Aside from the bent branches, there are burn marks in some places, but that doesn't really tell us much. If only there was some more conclusive evidence.
Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, it's you guys! We heard you were out searching for clues, and we... Oh, that's really...
Actually, we're also really unsure about what's happening here. We just asked the members of Mr. Ito's gang about what happened to them. That lady is either a nasty, evil spirit or a formidable yokai. But we still want to hold the Mikawa flower.
We long admired the friendship between Lord Kamai, which is why we want to hold the Mikawa Flower Festival. To return the favor even though our powers are limited, we don't want this bond of friendship to vanish. The Mikawa Flower Festival...
The Chinju Forest covers a large area, so it'd be great to have more help in the Welcome to the team. Let's all do our best to figure out what's going on.
Don't worry, we're very familiar with the area. We won't miss...
Is it a scrap of black cloth? I've never
This is a...
Shade cloth?
Yeah. It can effectively block out light and is used in a variety of settings, and there's a rough tear in the cloth, probably caused by a sharp stone.
Branches?
Suppose that a large shade cloth was originally hung from a tree, bending the branches. When the shade cloth was removed from the tree, perhaps one of the corners caught and the branches ripped it, causing a small piece of black cloth to... Either she didn't care, or she was in too great a hurry. Perhaps...
But why would she hang shade cloth in the tree?
I'm only speculating. Maybe she used it to create the atmosphere you experienced. Let's not worry about that for now. There's still many variables I haven't... Next, I'd like to investigate the place where the Arataki gang encountered her.
Oh, I know the way. I asked the gang members where their encounter with the ghost happened when we were chatting earlier. I'll take...
Good. Please, let's go find out what's going...
Too slow.
This is the place. They claimed that as they passed through here, the area suddenly grew dark, and some ghostly flames...
What? We saw the very same thing.
Let's start by taking a look around the area, just as we did before.
I found some sort of... The inside of it...
Judging from the brother, they appear to have been caught...
There's some strange powder in the cracks. I picked some up and sniffed...
Too slow.
Similar scare tactics. And she didn't have... I believe we're closing in on the truth now. I'm almost certain that the woman you encountered, she possesses no extraordinary powers. She was merely scaring people with some small...
Some small props? But can you really do all this?
First and foremost, the test of courage contributed to the... You were initially frightened by your first encounter with these 3 yokai, and then shortly after, you ran into... Because you were already tensed up, you were breathing more rapidly and inhaled a lot of sleeping powder that she had sprinkled around the area. That's when she pulled down the shade cloth and lit those so-called ghostly flames, creating a terrifying scene.
So, it was all just a show. She tricked us!
There is, however, still one loose end. The person who commissioned my investigation did become stranded on the beach. That couldn't have been accomplished by just a few small props. But if she possessed...
Oh, Paimon can't...
She can only use props to scare people in the forest, but she can use strange powers on...
Whoa, that was...
If we rule out the potential of organized crime, then only one. I know who the woman is. Let's go to the beach.
We'll come along too.
No. You should go back and tell the others not to be afraid and not waste their time. The truth has surfaced. It's time to put an end to all the unnecessary panic and...
Okay. Well, if you run into any danger, simply call out our names.
There shouldn't be any danger now, but thank you anyway. Let's search along the cliffside. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a chunk of earth that's unlike the others.
I knew it. I knew that you would come find me here.
There she is. Paimon thought you were a yokai like the others, but they said they never seen you before. So, who are you? And why did you try to...
I have already warned you never to speak to me. If you don't leave now, then...
She's terrifying! Hazel, it sure doesn't seem like she's using any props this time!
Don't move. Just trust me. Your yokai power won't scare us. It will only
Yokai power?
Huh? How did you know?
Your yokai that emerged from an object and assumed a human form outside of your own. When this type of yokai is close to its own body, it can use some yokai power, but that ability weakens as it moves further. And if the original body is destroyed, then the yokai that originated from it will likewise perish. Should I refer to you as a Hagoita spirit or Tsukumogami?
Don't bother. You may call me Hanyuda Chizuru. That is...
Chizuru, why do you... If you're a yokai, you should understand why the other yokai want to interact. Besides, we had a great time playing Akitsu Yugen together, didn't we? Just like the story.
Yes. That's why. That's why I don't want you...
Sad?
I'm sure the yokai have already told you, but they don't actually know. The samurai was about 25 years old when they met at the festival. They met again 10 years later and remained friends. They spent time together drinking, traveling, and sparring. When they had first met, they merely respected each other, but 10 years later, they became best friends. After another decade, the samurai had reached the pinnacle of his swordsmanship and won their duel by a narrow margin. Kamai was so astonished by his defeat, he gave up drinking and began training to become stronger for their next duel. However, another 10 years later, Kamai did not meet the samurai. As it turned out, war had broken out in the south, and the samurai had gone to defend the border. Kamai was unconcerned, because 10 years was nothing in a yokai's lifetime. But when they met once again, Kamai discovered that the samurai was already 65 years old. He couldn't believe his eyes when he saw the samurai's gray hair and scars covering his body.
Hey, old friend. Can you still wield the sword?
I'm getting too old to fight. This time, I've come to say goodbye.
I see. Then, how about one last game of Akitsu Hazara?
All right.
The samurai gave his best effort during the game, but had to quit halfway through because he was too weak. After putting down his Agoita, Kamai remained silent for a long time before letting out a long sigh.
What a shame.
Their friendship started as something they looked forward to, and in just a... Lord Kamai's appearance hadn't changed, but his dear friend in front of him had grown old. People often say that those outside the situation can see things more clearly. And I learned a harsh truth after witnessing. We yokai are different from humans. We have longer lifespans and different natures, but we share the same world. When the dream ends, all that even a wise and seasoned yokai like Kamai felt sadness when it was time to say goodbye.
Oh.
So,
I was hiding on this beach, waiting. But those 3 yokai came and set up the Akitsu Yugen here, which woke me from my slumber. I didn't want them to approach humans with unbridled optimism and enthusiasm, just because they'd heard the legend of Kamai.
is that why you pretended to be a ghost? To scare all the people away from here? Oh, so you must be the one who trapped that guy on the beach.
My power has become pretty weak now, and most of the time I just use some props I've collected to scare people. I can't show myself when they're... But that jerk was greedy. He wanted to steal the decoration. That's why I used my yokai power.
Ah, so that's what happened. By the way, how did you know the rest of the story about
It's okay if you don't want to tell us. I've already... Your true form is this pair of Hagoita, isn't it?
Hagoita? What?
The pair of Hagoita used by Kamai and the human samurai to play Akitsu Hazura hundreds of years ago. You gradually developed sentience after being influenced by great yokai power. You were the closest to... Even with the yokai power's blessing, the Hagoita have started to rot away after hundreds of years. You can't sustain yourself, so you were forced to rely on... And if my theory is correct, this pair of Hagoita is also the item we need to find for the third round of the test of courage.
Excellent work. You figured it all out. Congratulations, little ones. You've passed the third round of the test.
Miko! And the shrine...
I apologize for causing you concern. It was actually like...
Well, because fear is induced by uncertainty, the more chaotic the situation, the better. Having the event staff also mysteriously vanish only added to the uncertainty. I must say...
So you're the one responsible for all this...
Hitomi, go tell the others that the test of courage has ended and that we have a winner.
Now that I've solved the mystery, I'm going back to meet with my client. The intent to steal is not exactly a serious crime, but it can't go unpunished. I'll see you two later.
Miko, did you choose the Hagoita for the third round of the test of courage because you
Miko, Lady Yae, you're...
I followed Kitsune Saigu around the Mikawa Flower Festival one year and saw her play Akitsu Hazura. That was when I saw you. You didn't have a human form at the time and possessed only the...
I remember now. You were on Kitsune Saigu's shoulder.
I went for a stroll on the beach some time ago and sensed a familiar... Though your power was weak, I was still able to find you. You were sitting in a tree. I overheard you telling yourself that you must be patient and avoid contact with humans.
Huh? When was that?
With your powers being so diminished, it was only natural. You must have been blaming yourself all this time. You knew Kamai and the samurai became friends as a result of Akitsu Hazura.
At the time, I couldn't take on a human form like this. After they first met at the Mikawa Flower Festival, I felt proud, but after they said their final goodbyes, I could often hear Kamai sighing to himself. Lady Yae, you are a well-known yokai. You must know many more people meet, become friends, and then go their separate ways. Is it really worthwhile for us
Why not? Tell me, how did you feel when you played Akitsu?
I felt happy.
But your rationality told you that it was wrong. It turns out that there is still another piece to the story of Kamai and the samurai that...
What do you mean? The samurai...
True, but the story doesn't end there. That samurai's name was Yanagibashi Takuto, who also happens to be the founder of... It is believed that Takuto developed this style of swordsmanship while dueling with Kamai, who had also befriended the third-generation heir of the Soran Ishin art, Tominaga must... 500 years ago, Kamai and Tominaga fought side by side until their final moments, and the sword Tominaga wielded was passed down from Yanagibashi. The regret Kamai once felt.
Oh.
We yokai are not like humans. Humans have too short a lifespan, and the day will inevitably come when we must say... However, the bond formed by friendship will not be broken, but there's no reason to be upset by this. Time flies by in an instant, and life passes by like a dream. So, you must be happy.
Hey, compadres!
Ito, what are you doing here?
Hitomi told me everything. And I also heard that you won the last round. I even know who the ghost lady is now. Anyway, I had a little discussion with the others. Hey, you're that fox lady. Why are you here?
Please just disregard my presence. Now, tell us what you discussed.
Ah, right. All right, listen up. To celebrate the end of the Test of Courage event, we will be holding them. I gave it some real thought and realized that it might be kind of difficult for those little yokai to hold the festival on their own. But with my help, it won't be... That's right. Arataki, the one and only Ito, will be in charge of organizing the best Hooray
for Ito! Oh.
Can we really trust this guy with a fence?
Hey, what you trying to say? Besides, it won't just be me. Other people will help too. Even everyone's busy getting ready, and the festival will be up and running in no time. It won't be long until you can all join the fun.
You're the best, Ito!
And what would a festival be without me? I'll be sure to go have a look too. It has bbeen some time since I've attended a festival. Fortunately,
Paimon's gotta admit, Ito... A festival, delicious food, count Paimon in!
All right, I'll join. If you don't mind, that is.
Looks like the festival has started! Let's go check it out! Ito and Goro! What are you two talking about?
Oh, I was just saying that if I had more time, I'd have built a massive fish.
Fishing? You know, when I lived on Watatsumi Island, I used to just dive into the sea and catch fish.
Take it from an expert, using your hands to catch fish is nowhere. Just the other day, I caught a fish so big that I didn't even know how to handle it. I even wrote a letter to Yae Publishing House.
That's an unusual.
Huh? A big fish? How come you didn't tell us?
Huh? You wrote a letter?
Oh, you bet I did. I wrote to the That's Life column and asked Miss Hina for advice. She's so amazing. She got back to me really quickly, too.
Huh. What a coincidence. I do some part-time work there, and I recently received a similar...
You mean the letter was about dealing with a giant fish they caught? No. Could it be? Could it be that there's someone as good at fishing as I am? Oh, not on my watch. Hey, you all go enjoy the festival. I'm gonna get out. Just you wait. I'll be inviting you all to my fish feast.
Aw, the string snapped. Yoimiya, this is more difficult than it looks. Can you really fish out these water balloons?
Don't worry. Let me show you a little trick. Just remember that you're... Yo-Yo Tsuri! Paimon's seen this game in some light novels before. Do you want to give it a shot? Close one eye, aim carefully, and fish it out. Oh, it looks kinda tricky. Paimon will let the trap...
But Yoimiya, if I close one eye, I won't be able to see anything.
This ramen is so good.
Yes, and...
You mean you don't get to eat ramen very often, Ayaka? But it's so...
Oh, it's you. We'll need food like ramen and hot pot tend to have a lot of oil and salt, so...
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, now Paimon totally gets why Ayaka would put cake into hot pot.
Huh?
Oh,
Please. I'm stuffed and feeling a little sleepy.
By the way, were there any special stalls at yokai festivals?
Yes, but... Well, it's a long story.
Paimon can't believe you couldn't get a single water balloon. You've gotten rusty. Chizuru managed to finally get one and gave it to Hitotsu.
He looked like he really wanted...
But Paimon wanted one.
All right, then I'll catch one for you.
Yay!
Come on now, this is way more expensive than usual. Even if it is a festival, you shouldn't hike up the price.
Hey now, it costs money to run a stall. I need to raise my prices to...
Fair enough. How about 5 masks for 30%?
All right.
It's so hot. Feels like I'm being roasted here.
Don't get too close.
I know. It's just so rare to see such a nice bonfire.
There are many beautiful things in the world. There's no need to be anxious.
I was surprised that you didn't even tell your sister. It seems she was quite frightened, too.
It would have been uninteresting had I told her what was going to happen ahead of time. Besides, with her friends by her side, she wouldn't ever be too scared. Having a little fright is good to release any
Everything went according to plan. People started to panic as soon as they sensed that they had no idea.
Yes.
Hey, you two, stop laughing! It was scary!
Have you finished exploring the festival? Well then, are you having a good time?
Yeah, it's great!
The original Mikawa Flower Festival was much more lively, but even if you could attend the original, you probably wouldn't be as happy as you are now. Because it's always more fun to enjoy a festival with friends, isn't it?
Yes. Thank you.
Well then, I'm guessing you have something you want to say to him alone? We'll leave.
What did you want to say?
You saw through me again. I can't help but feel...
It's not that I know everything. It's just that I've been...
Traveler, do you have a moment? The
wind rises.
All right, here will do. Thank you for agreeing to come with me. Actually, I was delighted when I first discovered I was a yokai derived from a pair of Hagoita who came into... I wanted to go to more festivals, become friends with... But every evening, as night began to set in, I'd recall the bitter smile of the old samurai. Then I would wonder if I became friends with... As a result, I was convinced that I couldn't do it. I told myself, I'm sorry that I spoke so strangely when we first met. I expected you to flee in terror. But when we met again, I knew you mistook me as one of the yokai. But instead of telling you the truth, perhaps it's because I've always wanted to be like Kamai and play Akitsu Yugi. Or perhaps it was because I knew I didn't have much time left, and I didn't want to be alone. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to play with me. When we played Akitsu Yugen, Paimon said the loser would have to... At the time, I wished for... However, you still came and found me. Meaning, you never granted... Let me think. I wish for you... Okay. Listen. I wish that every day of your journey ahead will be filled with joy, like a festival.